Hey homies.
What was that?
Clap clap. We don't need no thugs unless those thugs was watching soccer dogs. Welcome to Rough Cuts.
This is fucking stupid.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
In a town that takes soccer seriously,
Soccer is war, and the weak will drop by the sideline.
one team is in need of serious help.
We need a miracle.
They need Soccer Dogs.
Let's get this dog a uniform.
Like it! I'm open! That's great footwork. I hate that dog. You want us to pick up some cement, boss?
We watched a movie with the Aquabats, which I may or may not be obsessed with.
You have a I'm curious,
Yeah.
Boyks. What exactly are we picking up? Is it the soccer ball? The coach says it's the soccer ball. Hand-eye coordination's very
I think we're
important.
picking up.
Is that what we're picking up? Picking up?
Yeah, we're picking up our skanking shoes on the floor so we can dance.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
just pick it up.
I needed to talk to an
Yeah.
expert, so...
Oh man, this is a little bit of trivia. The only film in existence that has an Aquabats song in it.
Is it really?
Yes, this is the only one.
That fucking rules.
Because they have their own television show where they put their music, but this is the literal only film that has an Aquabats song in it. For those who don't know, the Aquabats are a ska band from the 90s, which then turned into a punk band in the 2000s, which then turned into a kaiju band travels the world and fights crime television series, which is great.
Yeah.
And this is Soccer Dog the movie, which is the full title. It's not Soccer Dog the film. It's not just Soccer Dog. It's Soccer Dog : the movie.
The movie. Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You had to get it away from all the other Soccer Dog properties that we all know and love.
Right. Yeah, like Air Bud. 3.
No, that's not a Soccer Dog.
That's a different one. All right. Air Bud 2.
Yeah.
That's a football movie. This is football.
Yes. This is football. Yeah.
This movie has something in common with Air Bud 2. Also, because James Marshall, who is the dad in this film, was also in Air Bud 2, the football movie. Yeah.
Was he? Okay.
So there's an Air Bud connection.
Huh. He seems about Air Bud material.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel a little bad for saying that because I feel like they did finally have a moment where his character actually yelled at somebody and then he got a chance to act and he was okay. But man,
I would say
this movie is a bunch of different movies slapped together, and one of those movies fucking sucks, and it's the movie that he's in. And so it's hard to separate him the actor and him the character, and like how bad that is to like how much of it is writing, how much of it is him acting, how much of it is like he just infuses.
There's
it
like
feels
no
like he
emotion.
sucks the joy out of every scene.
Yeah, there's no emotion in anything he's in at all. Like he could be doing the most ridiculous thing, which he does at one point near the end of the film, with the pound.
Yeah.
And it's just so flat and bland that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I don't think is entirely his fault, at least in the pound, because that was just. We'll get to that. We'll get to the action choreography.
That's true. There is an action scene.
Yeah.
This movie's gonna be a little hard to describe, but before we get there, this film is not streaming. You cannot find this movie online. I had to get a VHS copy of this and then create a recording so that we could watch this.
So thank you to everybody who's been shoveling us funds so that Boyks can get a VCR and all of the equipment required to rip Soccer Dog the movie.
And in the process
So
of
that we
ripping
may
Soccer
watch
Dog the movie, I found an previously unknown version of the Animorphs TV show preview.
We did watch that too. It was real good.
That has not also existed online anywhere. So I uploaded that. So now that exists online. You're welcome.
Yes, and thank you to the people that actually suggested Soccer Dog for us.
Yeah,
to
we
watch
did have
because,
suggestions.
I appreciate that. We're sorry that it took so long because it took us a while to get this together. Again, thank you, Boyks. Boyks did all of the work for this. So.
We were told that this was a bad movie, and I would like to disagree at this exact moment. That I think this movie kind of whips for 80% of it.
I was gonna say, there's, I would agree, except there are some major qualifications for that.
I don't know how to describe this film because it's just like a series of vignettes that loosely have a plot.
Just about, yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, there's not a lot of overarching plot to this at all.
No.
One of the things that you mentioned as we were setting this up is that all of the characters in this kind of have a quirk to them. Like we have the mailman is the famous sidekick from Blazing Saddles.
He sure is.
And he's still that character. The coach is incredible. He's totally the walk that off coach. That bad coach is not the best of these, but he's trying to do like a drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket. The Arlie Ernie impersonation. There's the soccer store owner who's also a baker
for some reason.
That they get into
there's the camp counselor,
and then there's the wife.
Yeah, the wife.
There's the wife who's
a woman. Yeah,
that's a big quirk.
That's her
in
character.
This movie.
I fucking A.
I had to do that. I wanted to do that whole little bit just so that I could get to the fact that like they make a lot of really cool, interesting characters that are really weird, and then they got to the one woman in the film and they went,
shit, I've never met a woman before. What do I do?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like they had no idea what to do with
clue.
her. Holy shit.
But they...
It is one of the worst examples of that we've ever seen. Like, they always have trouble with the wife in, like, a movie like this, where they're just, like, they're just voids. But this was, like, she was a black hole. Holy shit. We'll get into that a little more. But...
She was also, like, it's a great disservice to Olivia Diabo, who was also in RoboDog, that we just did.
Correct.
Which also treated her as woman on screen.
Yes.
So... kind of feel bad about that.
Yeah, especially because, like, apparently the thing is that, like, we were like, well, I mean, Olivia Diablo, who even knows who she is? And then it's like, oh, she's in, like, Rise of Skywalker, like a voice actress in, like, a bunch of Justice League DC stuff.
She's a famous voice actor.
Yes, she's in, like, Conan the Destroyer. She's a talented actress by all accounts, so it's kind of like, ooh.
Yeah.
Nobody even... Like, they barely let her have lines. It's bad.
And most of the lines that she has are just, hey, man, go do this thing. Alright, I'm gonna leave now.
Yep. Like, to the point where they're going to... I'm gonna get into that scene just for a second. Just because we're talking about it. How bad this gets is that her husband and her adopted son are going out to rescue their dog from the dog pound, and she's going with them. She started this thing, in fact. Like, the kid sitting there moping doesn't know what to do, and she goes, well, let's go get the dog. And how do you get the dog? You get the dad, and then you fucking leave. And she, like, and she's like, whoa, wait, I have to give you your bag, and gives them even the soccer bag that he's going to need for the game later. The game that she goes to! There's literally zero reason why she can't just go with them. Like, she doesn't need to give them the bag. Like, it's just, she exits for, they're like, well, we can't have her. What would she do?
Yeah, what would she do? She's the wife. She's a woman. Yeah, can't have anything.
She can't do something. She's got to sit in the stands.
And clap.
Clap for the kid.
No,
Like, it's
instead
fucked.
we
It's
need this
fucked.
this awful man who is completely self-obsessed and projecting his own wants and needs on his adopted son to be the hero. Great.
Yeah.
Fucking love it.
Yeah,
This abusive piece of
gross,
shit.
abusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this gross, abusive motherfucker.
Great.
That's a total charisma void.
Yeah.
And like, she honestly, like, when she's on the screen and she has lines, she's good. Her character's even okay. Like, she's understanding and nice. She hates the dad. Like,
Which is
her
fair.
and the husband and wife have zero chemistry. It's amazing.
Every single
Yeah.
scene he's in
Super fair.
the film, people should be asking, why is he on screen? Get him off screen. And they
Yes.
are.
Honestly, the movie feels like it's doing that though
Yeah.
most of the time, because it really tries to like rush
Yeah.
past everything with him and just go to other shit, which is good because boy, it doesn't need the rest of that.
Yeah, that film sucks. I almost think we should talk
Yes,
about each film individually, rather than
The family
the
drama
film
thing,
as
yeah.
a whole. We should just talk about all three
Yes.
films in this one film individually, because I think that's going to be easier to actually talk about than jumping back and forth
Yeah.
like a roller coaster.
Yeah, the way that this movie actually
Yeah.
does. Yes. So the one
Yeah.
movie is there is a abusive cardigan wearing well, to be fair,
Yes.
every dad in this movie
They all wear
wears like a
cardigans.
fucking sweater
Yeah.
like knotted around their
They're
neck, or like a V-neck sweater or a cardigan
Freddy
or
from Scooby-Doo.
sweater vest or
Yes, with ascots.
they're all wearing bow ties, and like it's fucking incredible. They all are at the yacht club at every moment.
Yeah.
Like in their mind, they're in the yacht club at least.
Like, so the first movie is we open up in an orphanage with a sad kid who was left by his hippie parents who didn't want to deal with him in his hippie
God,
baby
what a-
basket that has a peace symbol.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
They're going up in tie-dye shirts because they're like, what are we? We're losers. We can't handle a kid.
So then he grows up in the orphanage alone and never gets adopted, leaves the first day he can by literally running out the door, exit stage right, gets married, and then goes back and adopts a kid that he then tries to make him like himself in kid form. And he forces the kid to do all the things that he likes.
Like soccer. Like he's like, soccer's the only reason that I made it out of the home. Like all I did was live for soccer. And then it shows him, as you do if you're a big soccer person, working at the DMV.
At the DMV. Yeah.
Yeah, where all soccer.
Where the geriatrics of the corn hang out. Where Karen, Larry, and Lloyd, or whatever, I'm just giving them names, are hanging out and giving him advice about being shitty to his kid. The Mega Boomers.
Giga Boomer.
Have you tried maybe just being an abusive piece of shit? That usually works for me. Oh yeah, I'll give that a shot. Maybe try, like, making him feel guilty about things. Okay, I'll give it a try.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. The one time in this movie when he's actually, like, the actor gets a chance to do something too is when he finally goes into the DMV and those people are there and they're like, so did you abuse your kid today the way that we told you to? He's like, fuck you guys, I'm done with this shit. Why did I listen to you? You all suck ass. And he just yells at them, and he's 100% correct.
But this is after they adopted the dog, which then he started treating more like his son, and then feeling like his real son that he adopted was no longer good enough. And he was letting him eat on the floor while he gave the dog a seat at the table.
Basically.
You know, the exact opposite of what he's saying in this scene.
Well, they never get back to this either, which the theme of this whole thing is, like, because he's constantly just berating this kid for not liking soccer. Like, it's ridiculous, because he'll sit there and he'll be like, you know, I understand, like, I grew up in an orphanage too, it's really hard to adjust, And I mean, now you're on a soccer team, and there's all these people that look up to you and need you, and like you don't want to let soccer down, right? And the kid's like, I don't give a fuck about soccer. And the dad just like does not, just ignores him. Just over
the dad
and over
keeps
and
ignoring
over.
him. But also, whenever he brings up, hey, so you want to play soccer? And the kid's like, I've never played soccer before. Everybody around them goes, oh,
yes,
never played soccer. The fuck's wrong
this
with
whole
you?
universe.
This whole universe is obsessed with soccer. Like,
they are absolutely pissed that he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
But the dad though, like, so the arc should be, oh, don't be a shitty abusive dad and force your child to do the thing
that you want to do.
Yeah. And the end of the movie should be the kid being like, I don't even want to do
the end of the
soccer.
movie
And the dad being
should
like,
be the kid being
cool,
like,
I'm
I
good
want to
with
be
that,
in
whatever.
drama.
Yes.
Done.
And then the dad watching like a play with the kid and being like, wow, I can be a supportive dad no matter what my kid does. They don't do that at all.
He's fully justified in his shittiness.
Well, halfway through the movie, they just drop that plot. Like, there's about, like, I mean, maybe more like 2/3 of the way through. It basically, he's like, you know what? I should stop being abusive to my kid. Anyway, so I'm gonna go see his championship soccer game. And the kid's just into soccer now, and it's like, what?
Yeah, what?
Because, like, the kid's not into soccer for 2/3 of this movie, where he's like, I don't want to be on the team. I hate soccer. Soccer's dumb. This is stupid. Why am I here? And then all of a sudden, it just stopped bothering to talk about that.
This part of the movie
The
hits
kid's just
all the
fine with
checkboxes of bad dog movie. There's adopted kid, also orphaned husband, so
dead parents.
Yep. There's kid hiding the dog. There's dog being found and then being accepted into family. There's
like dad obsessed with a certain thing and forcing the kids to be in that thing also. I would also almost say that it's I would also almost say that it's single dad, because honestly the mom is just so written out of this fucking movie that it might as well be. Like, because she's sitting there, she's constantly like, don't make him play soccer. He doesn't want to play soccer. We need to give this kid love and support. And everybody just ignores it. Like, even the kid ignores her. Like, she's like, hey, what would you like to do? And stuff, and there's just nothing. Like, they don't ever explore that. It's like, why doesn't the mom just say, well, go do a thing that you want to do? And this kid likes the mom. And they just don't bother with it. They just drop it. Like, it's just wild what they do with the mom.
Correct.
So that's
that movie sucks. Now we have
Thankfully.
Yeah, now we have the two good movies.
We have a lot of other great movies. This is a pile of shit, but it's coated in a lot of candy.
So the other two movies are the soccer movie, the sports film, and then the other movie is the weird shit fucking wild dog catcher horror film.
Yes. There's also, I would say that there's almost a there's like a 4th and 5th and 6th short film in here. Like, there's a bunch of other little ones, because there's a whole subplot on the the mailman who, like we said, is the Blazing Saddles evil sidekick, and he's just like happy that the dog's dead. He thinks the dog's dead at one point, because he's like, finally the neighborhood's mine again. And it's like, he's in the film for all of 4 minutes. They just have this little side thing where this, like, the mailman's like, I can't believe everybody loves the dog. I hate the dog. And then he's just out of the film.
Yeah, right.
And you're like, oh, okay. Or the mobster who's fixing children's soccer games.
He's fixing Pee-wee soccer games for money.
Who the movie just forgets about for like 45 minutes and then brings them back in right at the end. And
it's implied
we said the baking soccer
store guy. It's implied that the mobster sometimes like cement shoes kids into a lake. Also,
well, they kill a kid in this
They also
movie.
just straight up kill a kid.
They do just kill a kid
fix a
in
game
this
for
movie.
money. Like, and it's never brought up again or addressed. It just happens. What?
Specifically, they don't even just kill a kid. He gets his son who's
Yeah.
on the team to kill their own team member.
So that they lose.
And then it's never
Yeah.
brought up again.
Yeah, what the fuck? I don't even.
Because the early plot of the soccer movie is that this mobster is fixing soccer games, and so he gets his son. He goes, "All right, if your star player starts doing too good, what I need you to do is give him this pill.
Right.
That'll solve the problem."
He tells his kid,
And so he gives
Sonny,
Yeah.
who I remember the name
Yes.
of.
I remember the names of most people in this movie
Yeah.
because the movie's good.
But he slips it into his cup of water, or Gatorade or whatever, and he drinks it mid-game, and then just, like, convulses on the ground and fucking dies mid-match.
But the best part about that is that, like, later on, when they're in, like, the finals and stuff, and the kid and so they're down a player, and they don't have enough players on the team, so the coach is like, which we'll get to, God, we'll get to the coach, but he's looking around like, oh my God, I need another player. Wait, there's a dog, we'll just throw the dog on the field. So they throw the dog on the field because they have too few players. And when they get to the finals, and the dog, of course, can't show up because
Whatever.
of the
Yeah.
movie, then we'll get to that. He's like, oh, well, we're still a team member short. Implying that first kid's fucking
Still dead.
He never came back.
No, that kid's
He's still
fucking
gone.
gone.
This is like 6 months later. He's fucking dead.
Great.
Anyway.
Fucking great. I love it.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, little visual gags in this film, too, that I love. Like, they're going to the park to practice, and there's a sign that says, not just a landfill anymore. That's really good.
Yeah.
The dog catcher has a sign that says, like, pound or dog, whatever pound.
We're not talking about that.
Oh, we're not
movie yet.
talking about
The
that.
dog catcher movie's a different
Right,
movie.
but
yet.
I can talk
That's
about
a
the
different
sign.
movie.
The
I
sign
guess,
has
sure.
a no hunting sign on the bottom of the pound sign.
It sure does.
Very funny.
Inside of the dog
Yeah.
pound, there are, like, all kinds of stenciled on messages on the wall, like, no prisoners to be left unattended.
There's just a lot of good, like, visual gags in the background that, like, they put extra effort into it. They didn't need to, and I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff in this movie.
Like,
there's
oh man,
there's a lot.
What about
so a lot of the visual gags I have found were in the dog catcher horror
that
side
film
of
had a
this
lot
film.
more. Yeah. But, like, there's a visual gag on one of the license plates that said, like, now, or better than Ohio. Just out of nowhere. Where are you at? I don't know. It's better than Ohio. That's where we are at. That's our location. At least it's not Ohio. Like, okay.
So, the whole thing of this is that they want to win the championship. And this is why, like, this movie has a very loose plot. This is why we want to talk about it almost as 3 films, because I guess that the overarching plot of this film is just very simply they want to win
the
soccer
championship. Yeah.
Like, most other sports films are like, we need to win the championship because otherwise, like, so-and-so's career is over. Or, like, think of Mighty Ducks, right? Emilio Estevez, as the coach, has to, like, prove that he's still a good hockey player in some way and win the championship that he lost when he was not a pro, to be, like, to get his groove back and go back into the pros, right? Like, there's always something extra, because just winning the championship is what every fucking team needs to do. It's not a story. That's just what sports
But
are.
this team needs to specifically
all there
fight
is in
against the meddling of the mobster that keeps killing their team members.
I guess that's
the
maybe part of
major
it,
plot.
sure.
That's the problem. They could win if they didn't have that
but
mobster.
they forget about that for 50 minutes. Like, they just drop that for most of the movie.
Yeah, so, but the dog that they ended up adopting, named Lincoln, who's like a cute little stray, shows up on the field, starts fucking around with the ball after they lose their star player to murder.
to child murder by the mob.
So as the coach is there, like, talking to the ref like, you gotta have another player. The ref, by the way, is the camp counselor from Salute Your Shorts, which is an oddly specific reference. You're welcome.
It sure is, because I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about when you said it.
Yeah, it's a one-season show that played on Nickelodeon.
Good,
so, yeah.
As you said, this movie feels very Nickelodeon
yeah.
in a lot of ways. But this coach, this ref, is a
the
really good character. He's overshadowed by a lot of other characters, but like he's constantly like, don't make me pull out the red card.
Fuck up again, I'll fucking disqualify your whole goddamn team. Oh shit.
He's so good.
Yeah.
And it, like, they have him in like short shorts and like really long socks. So like they do a good job of dweebing him up really hard,
him up
but also
that.
making him intimidating.
Yeah, the reason why I specifically mentioned
unquote.
Salute Your Shorts is because he's very similar in the dweeb department. It's
Fair.
great. But yeah, so there's that, and then there's the coach, which is not Patrick Warburton, but might as well be. And that's what, Sam McMurray, I think, right? Yeah.
Yes, Sam McMurray. You'd know him from a bunch of things. If you look him up as an audience member, you will find out who Coach Shaw, Sam McMurray, is right away. He's in tons
I'm
of
assuming
movies.
you'll just put some clips here of him talking because it's so fucking good every time.
I will do some stuff. Yes,
he doesn't know how to play soccer. He keeps confusing it for football, which is great.
Well, or like
or tennis
or
whatever.
all kinds of whatever game, like, and he doesn't have a single person on the team's name right. Like,
yeah, he keeps calling
like,
them the wrong name.
Hey, Larry, go out there on the field, and it's like, who? My name's Sonny.
Oh,
he's like, no, Larry, get out there, and then it's like, no, my name's Sonny. Take a lap.
Once we get through the fourth quarter, then we'll be able to win the game. There's only 2 quarters in soccer. Take a lap.
Take a lap. Like, that's a literal line in this.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, soccer's really about a lot of hand-eye coordination. People say that it's about legs, but I think that legs are on the way out.
Right.
Hey, legs don't belong in soccer
all about
anymore.
catching the
So
ball
we're
and
gonna
using your
practice
hands.
throwing the ball to each other, and it's like, wait, I don't think that's soccer is. Take a lap. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's just good.
Great.
It's good.
He's so good.
I love that guy.
He's really, really fantastic. It's hard to explain how great this coach is. Later on, like, they start... So, in this universe also, where mobsters fix kids' soccer games, the kids' soccer game is the height of sports entertainment. They have a disaffected, like, former national TV news reporter star that is stuck in their podunk town talking about, it really put their town on the map.
This
an
literal
old-timey
only
newsreel
map that
about
I
it.
have. This map, I wrote it on there. That's how you know they're on the map.
And there's, like, big news conferences and stuff about, like, who their soccer star is. And the coach shows up to those. Like, at first he's just... It seems like he's such a gimmicky, one-dimensional kind of character. And that's really funny. But they go deeper into it, which is even better. Because, like, then they have him at the... conferences in like a suit and turtleneck and stuff, and like that's just totally against
as
his
the film
character,
goes on.
but...
He goes from like schlubby coach in sweatpants to like well-groomed, business suit man for no reason,
but only
great.
only I don't think it's for no reason. Like, they parody the, like, what a moron he is in front of the reporters and stuff too, where it's like he's trying to pull off this look and he kind of half does it, but like he very much has like the big like turn the chair around and like, hey kids energy. And then also like the reporters are like, so do you really think a dog should be on the field kind of thing? He's like, I don't like that question.
Take a lap.
Like, it's just, but like, this is all the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's really hard to explain because he just does such a great job with it, and sometimes he has a lot of manic energy. So
Yes,
he's not just
it's the delivery,
Warburton,
and
'cause he
also
gets
he's
very-
just like constantly moving around and tons of energy in his performance. And then he'll just say something out of fucking nowhere, like soccer's called baseball in the UK. You're like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
Yeah. Some of you might not know, but soccer is called baseball in the United Kingdom. And they're like, wait, I don't think that's true, Coach.
Take a lap.
Laps for everybody.
I fucking love this guy.
At the end of the movie, when the kid and the dog are missing, he and he's short of members, and he's like trying to block the
From
ref
seeing
from
how many
looking
team
at how many
members,
people are on his team. He's like, oh, like where's the last 2 people on your team? And he's like, put them out for a lap. And the ref's like, okay, that makes sense for this
He's
asshole.
always
It's just like,
out on
it's
a
kinda
lap. Oh,
perfect.
got it. Yeah, it's so good.
He does like the total, when people get injured, he's like, just rub some mud.
Yeah, like, because the kid that got poisoned, right? He
Then
goes
dies.
up to him. He's like, all right, how many fingers am I holding up? 3? Nah, close enough for government work. Get back in there. Wait a minute.
Stand up and just take a lap. What are you doing laying down on the field dying? You need to take a lap. It's just fucking great. Everything about this guy, like, he's
It's
just
so funny.
He is. I kind of feel like he's like a Coach Himbo, a little bit,
like
because like
yeah,
he's just
a little bit
brainless in a way, but also he just muddles through somehow. He's just always
so
manages to have things work out.
There's a point later on too, because they're doing the bit where he does the name wrong all the time. So then at one point he's like, "Hey you, wait, I don't remember your name. What's your name again? Sonny? No, that's not right. Anyway, Mary." Like he literally tells them to their face, "That's not your name." I know better.
And like he calls the kid a girl's name, but I just want to point out, like, because you said Mary,
Right.
I just want to point this out really quickly, that the movie never makes it a point that he's belittling
No.
the kids, and he's like trying to make fun of them for being like, oh, a girl. It's just he's so fucking out of it that he just pulls
It's just
weird
names out of
like,
nowhere.
just whatever. Yeah. It can be girls' names, it can be dogs' names, it can be like names of theaters or like whatever.
Yeah.
He just grabs something. Like it's like I wouldn't be surprised if at one point he was just like, "Hey, pizza, get in the goal." We're like, "What
Pizza? Who the hell is pizza
on the team?"
Yeah, it's real good. It's real good. And then out of that, there's also Grease Kid. We haven't talked about yet.
I was gonna say there's also Grease. I was gonna say I guess we need to talk about Greaser Kid
Kid
too,
is
huh?
fucking
I forgot
wild.
how many kids are in this
Like,
film.
so Greaser Kid is, it's all, in your head, baby. Let's go, daddy-o.
It's not how you kick it in the field. It's how you kick it in the streets, baby.
Yeah, that's so hip and
Jesus
cool.
Christ.
Let's get one thing straight. I don't know about this town, but where I come from, nobody calls each other baby.
Yeah, that's cool. You like to kick it with an East Coast flavor. No problem, baby. No problem.
You're a real jive fella.
Yeah,
huh?
all you gotta do is-
pretty fly out there on the field to play some soccer. You got some chill out
Yes,
vibes.
he's like totally
dude.
iced up hair and like, look, daddy. All I'm
What?
saying, baby, is you just gotta go with the flow. You feel me, Holmes?
He's like wearing bowling
You
shirts
know what?
the whole movie.
This guy, he's from a different movie. He's just in this film. I don't.
This movie's from 1999.
Yeah, they thought kids were cool when they talked like, I don't know, a
Greasers
60s greaser or
from the
whatever.
50s.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, like holy shit. And they have an amazing scene later on, by the way.
Oh man.
That is him going in the championship game, the Sonny, the
mobster
well,
kid.
forget about
The one that
it.
literally said
Mobster
"fuck
kid.
you" in sign language.
Yes, who actually flipped off the coach, did the stroke under the chin, "fuck you" to
Yeah.
the coach when he was told to take a lap one time, and I went, "Whoa!"
I got
that's a little
kicked out of my
racy.
basketball team for flipping off my coach. I should have done that. That would have worked
Yeah,
better.
that's honestly, that feels way more provocative than just flipping somebody off. But anyway, so this kid who's, gabagool, you forget about it. Because they're doing that whole thing, is on the field, and he's throwing the soccer game as the goalie, specifically not catching any goals and stuff, because his dad is fixing this little kid's soccer game, and he gets the greaser kid to come over to him. The greaser kid's like, yo, Daddy-O says that you need to stop acting like a baby out here on the field. You jive with me? And he goes, what you talking about to me?
You calling me a baby?
About it? You call me a
I'll
baby?
fucking stab your eyes out. You call me a baby.
It's like, I ain't calling you a baby. I'm just saying that Daddy says, and it's just like this 3 minutes of them back and forth doing their weird fucking accents at each other, and it's so goddamn good.
They're about to get in a fist fight, and the mobster kid like punches the coach in the gut as he comes in to intervene. Yes. So he gets kicked out of the game, but in the background you see the mobster like taking his shirt off and throwing it at the other kid and shit. Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Baby, what's going on here? Looks to Daddy like you're throwing the game.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, baby, Daddy's talking to you.
Are you calling me a baby?
Baby, Daddy's not calling you a baby. If I was calling you a baby, I'd tell you to change your Pampers once in a while.
Just who do you think you are? You think you're funny? No, Sonny, man, you got the thing wrong. Hey, Gio, he's a big boy. He knows what he said. So what, you think you're a clown? You here to amuse us?
Yeah, Daddy'd rather be bozo than wiping himself for an audit.
What's that supposed to mean?
What?
An audit's how they catch tax cheats. So he's calling you a cheater.
That right? Are you
what the
calling
fuck
me a
is
cheater?
going on?
The bib fits. Because, baby, Daddy don't have time to be arguing here like a little baby. With a baby, well, there's babies out here that want to watch Daddy bust a move and knock a smack Daddy in the net and score a bad boy for all the beautiful babies out there.
Is this hip and cool?
Oh, what?
Hey,
What's happening?
What are you doing? That's my son. Hey!
It's so good. There's so many little scenes in this film that are just fantastic. Perfect scene.
Another really quick vignette is so they do the Air Bud thing. Air Bud does this because God, I fucking watched it. I know Air Bud. I watched it 5 times when I was a kid. But when he brings in the dog, he's like, okay, I've got a wild idea. What if we bring the dog in for the player that's been murdered? I have to say that every time. But he's like, what if we brought the dog in? And he goes to talk to the ref about it. And they're like, well, let's see. And there is, in this Pee-wee League, in every scene, they keep her in the background is the best part. They keep having her there. Mm-hmm. There is a little old lady with a book that is 4 feet high.
It's huge. Yeah.
Like, it is unbelievably big. It's
like 10 phone books.
And they're like,
yeah.
Yes. Consult the rules. And they show her read every single paper.
Every line, finger.
Every line by a finger. She's like licking her lips and, like licking the finger and flipping every page, slowly going through it. And she's like, nope, nothing in the rules. Send that dog in.
Such a good visual joke. I love it.
It's the only scene that she's actually in.
But she's in the background,
But
rest.
then,
yeah,
that's what I said. Like, then the best part is, like, this is where this movie has, like, a really fine touch in some ways, is that in every other soccer scene that they have, the rest of the games, she's just sitting there at center field in the background between the two bleachers in, like, this big throne as, like, soccer judge with this gigantic
just to remind
book
you, that wasn't a one-bit thing. This is just the reality of this universe.
This is what soccer is. Everyone knows what soccer is, right? Baseball in the UK.
I don't even. It's so good. It's so good. It shouldn't be this good.
Also in this film, I guess that we do have a brief aside where they go to a soccer store to get the kid kitted out with his dad.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, I've never even played soccer. And the owner of the soccer store is... and everybody else in the soccer store is fucking stunned too. But for some reason, they go back to the soccer store later. I can't even remember why. And there's a bully kid that they're fighting against. It doesn't matter. Honestly, this is so
the bully kid's whatever,
not relevant to the plot. The bully kid's not really relevant, but he shows up there and is like picking a fight with the two main characters, the greaser kid and the main character kid, the orphan kid. And the soccer store guy who was dressed normal 30 seconds ago inside the store runs outside of the store to break up the fight. But now he's suddenly in a, like, kiss the cook apron
with an
kind
oven
of thing,
mitt.
like with floral arrangements on it and an oven mitt. Like, one oven mitt. And he's just breaking up this fight, and we're like, wait, what the fuck is going on?
When did he do that? Why is he wearing that? Wasn't he the store clerk? What?
Yep. And then they have, at the end of the movie, they have a montage of all the characters and where they end up, and they just bring this guy back and they go, and he finally started that restaurant he always dreamed of. But it burned down. Anyway,
and his life, but it
like,
burned down and his life was ruined.
Yes, and that's why. There's 2 scenes with him as a fucking baker for no reason. There's nothing that ever establishes that he's a baker. Like,
so
there's
good.
It just happens out of nowhere. Oh, this movie.
I love it.
We're not even in the third movie yet. We're just
love
in the
it.
second
I love
movie.
it. Oh man, once you get past that first movie, this movie's great. So we haven't talked much about the game that happens at the end, right? I think that's kind of where we're leading towards.
We're kind of steaming towards the final game, I would say, yes.
So the game. I don't know.
They bring back the mobster plot line at the last second, where suddenly he's throwing games again.
Yeah,
which hadn't happened in a while.
Because after Mobster Kid gets kicked out for getting in a fight with Greaser Kid, baby, they need to fill in his spot. So they finally bring boring kid that everybody hates, who is our main character kid, off the bench. Mm-hmm. And make him play goalie.
Yeah, they pull from another film, the bad film, and grab this.
They pull him out of that film into the better movie, so I appreciate that. Yeah,
unfortunately.
But, so he's the goalie now, which he's good at because they did nothing but practice hand-eye coordination.
Hand-eye coordination?
So he knows how to play goalie, but not any other part of the fucking team.
Which is actually kind of a really good joke when you think about it.
So he starts doing that. The dog shows up as well and is playing. And then the bully kid pulls out his attack dog that he adopted from the same pound that our soccer dog was in. And he lets it go on the field. And the attack dog, like, rams into Lincoln and knocks him out of the game. Which is fine, because dogs are allowed on the field. It's in the rules.
Yeah. It's in the... There's no rules. The dog can't be on the field, apparently, so you can have as many dogs on the field as you want, attacking players.
Which the coach even says, wait, but there's a dog on the field. You can't let him... No, but that's different. My dog's different.
See, and that's why I like the coach, because he's not just an idiot, because he does, like, have that exact conversation. He's like, well, no, my dog's different. Like, he realizes what he's saying. So, like, that's why they do a good job where he's not just one-dimensional, although they have a lot of quirks to him.
But it's really funny because, like, when Lincoln gets knocked out in a horrible accident and pulled off by a stretcher, there's people...
Yeah, he's like, medic, get him,
Yeah, there's, like, a guy in the crowd who's like, oh, no, now what are we gonna do? Oh, we'll let the kid that everybody hates on the field. We're fucked! It's over! How much worse could this get? And now for your halftime show with David Hasselhoff. Ah, shit. just fucking throw David Hasselhoff under the bus for a joke. Why not?
For no reason. Yeah, just out of nowhere.
I love it.
Yeah, David Hasselhoff, famous halftime children's soccer entertainer.
I mean, Pee Wee Soccer's so big in this universe. They could probably get David Hasselhoff.
It's true. It seems like that's well within their pull, yes. If anything, you'd kind of be surprised they would go that low.
So then after the dog gets knocked out of the game, they talk the mob kid to get back in and actually not fix the game and play for real. But not as a goalie, because now they have a new goalie who's better or something. Whatever.
It's so fucking weird.
So then they win the championship. Yay! Using the power of friendship. I guess. I guess.
The dog comes back on the field also at the last moment to score the final goal, because of course he does.
And then this movie coincides again with the other film that sucks.
Yes. I was going to say, let's get... Oh, yeah.
So let's get into the ending of this part. Because the other movie has its own ending.
Okay. Sure. I thought we were moving past these two movies and going
we could go to the third one if you want. And maybe go to the epilogue after. I don't care.
I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with doing the third movie.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. So the third movie is the dog catcher film.
So the way that we start this film, I guess that actually they do bring in what happens at the end of the movie.
They do now. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. There's a dog playing in a dog park. And then they throw a ball for the dog, and it runs out of their view and into the view of the nastiest man in existence, who looks down at this dog, picks up the ball, sniffs it very like creepy, kind of sexually, but also kind of Hannibal Lecter-y. Honestly, the way
gross.
that I immediately said this was, he looks at the dog, and my immediate reaction at that time is I said, "Dog, how much have you ever lost on a coin toss?"
Yeah.
It's just this fucking No Country for Old Men murdering motherfucker that comes in. He sniffs the dog ball. The dog, looks at him and is like,
I'm gonna
okay,
leave.
This is weird. And just starts to leave. And then he throws the world's tiniest net onto the dog, to which the dog immediately, just promptly dies, basically, just falls over. And then it zooms back on him, and he pulls his hand up and goes, "Mwah," and kisses his skull rings that he has on both
silver
hands
skull
in the
ring.
creepiest...
Yeah.
Yes.
This motherfucker...
in the most incredible, creepy, sexual, weird fashion. It's so
This
good.
motherfucker's a JoJo. This is a JoJo character.
Yes.
He could pull out somebody's hand, the decapitated hand, and kiss it.
A severed hand, yes.
Severed, decapitated would be head. A severed hand, kiss it, and then put it back in his pocket, and it would just look like the character. Nothing's different.
It would just look normal for this man.
This is a JoJo.
Yeah. He is the creepiest, weirdest, he has obviously buried many, many, many people and dogs in his backyard.
And we know for a fact he has, because he's also taxidermied some of them. And made ashtrays out of them for his own enjoyment.
So he steals this dog, which we didn't know that he was a dog catcher at the time, because he doesn't look like a dog catcher at all. He's wearing, he also has spurs and, cowboy boots.
Yeah.
And just all these things going on with him. But, he's not a cowboy. He's just wears spurs. I don't know. This guy is just incredible.
Yeah.
He's got, skull boots. He's that kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
God, he rules.
So the dog is Lincoln, right? Who's a stray on the street. He takes him to his dog jail. His dog prison.
Yes.
His dog prison.
Literal
ward.
dog prison. Yes.
Cell block B.
Because the first thing that he does when he puts the dog away is he starts running his nightstick across the cell bars. Clink, 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 clink. Like he's intimidating the dogs. He makes them come out for inspection at one point.
And at that point, we find out that Lincoln escaped through a pipe that was underneath his mat. No, not a holy dog.
He fucking Shawshank Redemption's it. Yeah.
Went through the pipe, to which our dog catcher, slams his fist on the ground and goes, "No!
No!" He gets so mad at this. Does he ever speak in the entire movie?
No. He doesn't.
I don't know if he does.
No.
I don't think he does. I don't think he ever says a word. But they show that he is so upset that this one dog got away from his murder machine that he has in the fucking pound, that it shows him over, like, lighting matches and throwing them down, and you're like, what is he doing? And then they zoom in and there's a fire, and it's like certificate of dog catcher and stuff in this fire. Like, he's burning all of his stuff. Like, he's like, I'm going to make it so that I'm not a dog catcher anymore. I'm off the leash, motherfucker. I'm so mad that I'm burning up my own shit because I don't deserve to be a dog catcher.
It was a dog catcher of the year certificate about how good of a dog catcher he is. And he's so upset with himself that he just can't live with it. Like, I'm filth. And because I'm filth, I'm going to get on the ground and become filth. And he just jumps on the ground and starts smelling the grass and looking for clues to track down this one dog that escaped.
I want to point out at this point, the actor who plays this is, I would say that he is like one of the best actors for funny type stuff that we've ever seen in any of these movies, except that there is a probably better person in this than Sam McMurray. Like, it's incredible how this has, like, I think that this movie has 3 of the top 5 characters we've ever had in a dog movie. Like, individual characters. And the actor that plays this man is Billy Drago. Like, it's, like, so perfectly cast.
Yeah.
The guy is known for things like The Untouchables and The Hills Have Eyes, where he's like a horrible murderer in that. And they pull him in for this. Good. It's perfect. They knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah. I love it.
His van, by the way, his brown dog catcher van has like no dog signs all over it. It's not labeled. It's like a fucking unlabeled
It's an unmarked van
He's got
that
an
he uses to
unmarked
abduct
van.
dogs. Yes. But his license plate is
too.
D Master. Which could mean anything. It could mean Dog Master. It could mean Death Master. It could mean Dick Master. We don't know. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm like, it's the the rare triple entendre where it's all 3. It means all 3.
Yeah. But so this...
He does. He knows. He knows who he is. This man is a man in charge of his destiny.
He keeps like crawling around on the ground at random places, smelling dog shit, and just looking around for this dog. He puts a tongue on his finger, lifts it up into the air to feel the wind, so he can like figure out where the scent of the dog was and things like that. It's so good.
At one point, there's a character that grabs like a telephone and is on
the journalist,
the phone.
The reporter.
Yes, the reporter is on the phone from the other movie talking about like how she doesn't like being in this podunk town reporting on dog soccer.
Yeah,
and he walks over, grabs the phone from her and like hangs it up and then like picks it back up again and like starts thumbing through the phone book. He fucking full on Terminators her. Yeah. Like this is it feels like a scene from like Terminator, you know, when like Arnold goes in and he's like, I need your clothes. Like it's totally that. Like, but he never even says a word to her. Like he just looks at her and she's just like, okay.
Like if it was a Friday the 13th movie, he would have stabbed her and then grabbed the phone. Right? Something like that.
Yeah,
you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Too Many Cooks. At any point in the film, they just cut to this murderer. You're like, hello?
And he's just coming. He's in the background. He's in the background. He's in every single scene.
And then you look back, you're like, wait a minute. What the fuck? And then,
like I feel like if you went back and watched every frame of this movie, he'd be like underneath the bleachers.
Like looking, he might be though. That's the terrifying thing. I don't know. I haven't gone back and looked. He could be. Yeah. And also that would be a really good joke if they did that though. I'm starting to think like they might.
Like I said, he is in my heart. Yeah. I'm just gonna say that he is, and I'm just gonna leave it there.
So at one point, the kid gets mad at the dog for taking all of the, I guess, fame. This is a very Teen Wolf moment in that other film, where the dog is so popular that the town has like "We Love Lincoln" shirts, and there's guys going around selling stuff. Like if Styles was here from Teen Wolf, it would not look out of place. It's just that film.
There's actually, because you said that, the brief aside into the other movie that's good, when they have the fight outside of the store with the kids, and then the soccer store guy breaks it up. They are sitting there, and the bully goes like, well, no one even cares that you're on the team. All they do is care about the dog.
Yeah.
And I remember what my note said, that he's just a member of the team.
Oh,
I know what
okay.
it is
Yeah,
for
okay.
again. It's for this. Because the kid goes, no, he's just a member of the team. And then in the background, there's like this street hawker with mugs and shirts and stickers that like are all like, we love Lincoln, with the dog all over it, like in the background, like, we got your Lincoln merch here, do you want your cool dog merch? And it's like, walks through the frame, and you're like, anyway, he's just a member of the team, don't worry about it.
It's so good. But so he gets mad at the dog after he walked in on his parents talking about how they were going to abuse him and lie to him. Great.
Yeah.
And he kicks the dog out of the house. And at that moment, the bully is there with his Rottweiler murder dog that will eventually knock him out of the game. But our dog catcher,
and he's wearing he's wearing a toque with a spray paint can, which we don't know what he was going to do with it.
But then the dog catcher like sneaks up behind the bully, like puts his hat over his eyes and knocks him to the ground, scares the Rottweiler away, and then picks up Lincoln by the collar and pulls out a fucking Bowie knife.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. Which he then just like gently slides into the collar between his neck. And I was like, oh god, as an actor, I would have been worried about this scene. Because that's an actual knife. Because then he cuts the collar off. And then he pulls it up to his mouth and he's like, and sniffs it, and then he just puts it on the ground. Like, like he walks away with the dog. And when you say that he sneaks up on the bully, I feel like you're kind of doing a disservice in a way, because it's just, the bully is there and the dog is there, and like they set this up as like a big thing where it's like, oh, the dog and the bully are gonna get Lincoln, and then you just suddenly see these like cowboy death's head boots like come into frame, like as his bully's like crouched down in the grass, and then like in the side of the frame is just like these cowboy boots, and a hand comes down and puts the toque over his face, and he just slowly stalks towards the dog. Like he's very Terminator in his movements. Good. Like he's never sneaking, he's never crouched, he is always like stiff. And just like walking like he's a robot. Like it's
very
incredible.
Voorhees, I feel. Yeah, it's very Voorhees.
Yeah, like Voorhees or Terminator or like he's not a human, right? So, like he is death incarnate in this movie. He abducts
Lincoln, the dog. And the kid wakes up hearing the van drive off, and he notices the D-Master license plate. The novelty license plate that our very fun dog catcher has. So then he tells his dad, who works at the DMV, the license plate, because that was the only thing he remembered about why his dog left. So then they go to the DMV and illegally look up the license plate to figure out who owns it, where they find out that our dog catcher lives on 666 Hades Street. Of course he does.
Since we're getting into this real quick, I do want to go way, way back, because we skipped over something that I want you to talk about, because you briefly mentioned it. We said that we know that this man has many murdered dogs and stuff, and you said, yeah, because of the taxidermy. Would you like to explain, Boyks?
I mean, on his desk is a dog, like a small dog, that has been taxidermied in full, with a name tag that says Fluffy, and an ashtray full of cigarettes in front of it that he made. So he made an art project out of it. And then on the wall is another dog that he taxidermied. Just up there, in the background.
You're missing a very important part about the ashtray dog. In the middle of the ashtray is a fucking knife.
Oh, there is a knife in there. That's true. That's important to know.
There's a knife in the middle of the ashtray and
he took pleasure in that, killing that dog and taxidermy it. Yeah. It's bad.
It's an incredible set piece.
So the dad and the kid show up at the pound, which has the no hunting sign / dog prison. And they're looking for a weapon in the trunk, and the dad finds a squeegee. So he knocks the end off and makes a shank.
Yes. And when they're going into the dog pound, I want to point out that it has the no hunting sign outside. On the door is a sign that says, beware of dog catcher.
Yeah. So they walk into the pound, they go through all the cages, and they can't find Lincoln, but they hear him in another room. So the dad goes into the office with his squeegee shank, and Lincoln is there being held with a noose around his neck by the dog catcher. Because he's gonna hang this dog.
He's gotta be here.
The incinerator room.
Stay here.
What is... This is a fucking horror movie.
Yep.
What is happening?
Cardigan sweater dad's gotta fuck up a dog catcher.
Oh my god!
What? Got the music?
I think you've got something that belongs to me. I'm taking the dog back.
I don't... What the fuck?
I don't... It's so fucking good.
So then the dad goes in for the most action-packed scene of the film, which is 25 quick cuts, because they couldn't make it look good, of them getting into, a fight and him throwing him. And then as he...
It is... When you say that it's 25 quick cuts, it is, he'll take a swing, and normally when you do a quick cut, they'll do, so you'll see it in, Marvel movies, where somebody will throw a punch, and at the end of the punch, as, the fist comes towards the camera, it'll cut, and it'll show the villain staggering away, because they don't actually have any choreography in it. This one is unique in the fact that he'll raise the squeegee, and it will cut to him in the same shot with the squeegee raised, but there's a cut. And then it'll show him pulling the squeegee down towards the camera, and it'll cut, and it'll then start from the same exact spot again, and have him continuing, and then it'll cut, and then it'll show the reaction of the guy as he starts falling, and it'll cut halfway through his fall, and then it'll be the same shot again, him falling all the way, and it's like, what the fuck is happening here? It's stuttering.
It's halfway through the scene, it turned into a 5 FPS FMV movie. Yeah. For no reason.
It's fucking strange.
It's weird editing. But, so he gets Lincoln, he walks out the door, but the dog catcher's not down for the count, so he jumps on him from the back and starts choking him with a knife to his throat. So then the kid releases all the dogs from the pound who have a grudge against this murderous dog catcher. And they go in and knock the dog catcher over, the door shuts, and we hear them eat him alive. And he's fucking dead.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
And then in the epilogue, they're talking about him again. There's and that dog catcher, nobody ever heard from again. Some say he was eaten by dogs. Others think he just left town. I guess we'll never know. Well, the fucking cleanup crew knew, right? Somebody had to go in and check that out. He's fucking dead.
I mean, maybe the dogs put him in a bath and poured acid all over him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Get rid of the evidence.
They threw him in a bag and tossed him down the river. Who knows?
Boyks, dogs are really good at burying bones.
There was that film we watched where the dog buried the mailman, so...
True. Yep.
So, I mean, it happens. It happens. But, okay, so, then we get the epilogue. The epilogue's fucked up. It's fucked up, but not in the way it should be.
It's so much...
in a normal end of a film, you're like, oh, the family learned to love this dog, and the dog played soccer and taught them how important it is to be together as a group and get together on things, and anyways,
fuck that shit.
Anyways, some rich white guy showed up and said that it's his dog, so it's his now,
and they just give the dog away.
What?
Anyway. And the dad has the worst narration throughout this movie. he narrates various points. Oh, very occasionally, but for some reason they just decide to pull out internal monologues sometimes. And this is one of those moments where he's like, I was really proud of him. He learned to move past things like a man.
What a piece of shit this guy is.
He didn't even give a shit. He didn't even give a shit that his dog was gone. Like, and the kid doesn't. The kid doesn't either. The kid...
I'm glad that he understands
that... I guess that I'm glad that he has a home anyways. Bye. See you later,
I'm glad that
Lincoln.
my son made no attachment at all to this animal. Great. What a film.
Good?
Yeah, but then we get the epilogue. All this other stuff happens. The mob boss goes to jail for fixing Pee Wee soccer games. Finally.
Finally his days are done skimming the
cream dogs. Not anymore.
Drugging kids in soccer games.
Right. And our
There's also a guy in the stands that he assaults at one point, because there's a guy in the stands that's like, yeah, your team sucks. And the mobster, this is when we introduce the mobster, because we've never seen this guy before. There's just one guy in the stands that's like, your team sucks. And suddenly there's a mobster there, and I'm like, wait, is there a mobster in the stands? And he looks over at the guy, and then the next scene is the guy there with like a broken arm. And it's like, what? And he's like, I love the team. And you're like, oh, okay, there's a mob at this soccer game, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it's like 10 minutes later they introduce the mob storyline, so this movie is disjointed, to say
and
the
then
least.
the family gets a new puppy from the lady across the road, literally across the street from their house. And
yeah, on the day that they lose their dog, they find a new
we
one.
learned the lesson of
don't get attached to dogs, because you can always get a new one.
Just
Who
get
cares?
a new dog.
Nobody gives
Soccer
a shit.
dog. And also they put up a statue of that dog. They love that dog. What?
He was in newspapers, like national newspapers.
What happened? This movie is like a mess, but I think I love it. For parts of it, like obviously the first film sucks, but for the parts that are good, it's
thankfully,
so good.
like you said, that's not a lot of the movie, and that's not a lot of the movie. The vast majority of the movie, I would say that. So we've now done all three films that somehow. These are somehow one film. Like, remember, think of the things that we've talked about, and now try and parse that as a single movie that is all jammed together, interlaced between each other. Because
they'll like have the scene where the kid's like, dog in the closet, are we gonna keep it? Yeah, well you better think of a name. And then quick cut to dog catcher, like with a fucking lighting a match in a dark alley and a Bowie knife and burning some shit and being like, my whole life's ruined. Like, what?
And like they're playing horror music over that. Like they're playing like violins like like over
out of
every
nowhere.
Scene with
and then it cuts to like goofy coach. Like what?
It's so weird.
Yeah.
This movie.
We didn't even talk about the interviews.
The parts that are low.
Yeah.
Well, there's a moment in the middle of the film where I think that this is what you mean by the interviews, where about like 30 minutes into the movie, the news reporter breaks the fourth wall, looks at the camera and goes, now it's time to talk to some of our viewers at home. And they just go around and talk to people
out of nowhere.
Like, yeah, the movie's doing pretty okay right now. Like, I like dogs, so that's cool. And you're like, what the fuck
and
is
then they
happening?
go to like each character one by one. They're like talking to the coach and stuff for no reason. Just start interviewing people like that were on set. Like, what is happening? Why?
But they're interviewing them like it kind of sets it up like it's a fourth wall break. Like they're watching the movie, but then they interview the characters in the movie, and it's like this movie is a headache. But also, like you said, the first movie is terrible, but it's only like 20% of the movie. And the rest of this movie is sublime.
Yes.
It is. It's near perfect. The rest of this film is like like it's one of the best comedies.
We
I've
say
ever
this a
seen.
lot.
It's
If they
so
just
good.
cut out the family shit, this would be a great movie.
This is the number one version of that, though, for sure. No other movie that we've watched with cut out the family shit is nearly as cut out the family shit as this movie. because I think that part of it is that if you cut out the family shit, it's still
a better movie too. It's straight up improved.
Like, it still has plot and stuff. There's less plot in the family stuff than there is in the rest of the film. We didn't even get into the lady that shows up at their house with a little Shih Tzu, and she's like, "So, you got a dog there that's ready to fuck my dog, right?" And he's like, no.
Yeah, he's like,
lady,
now. First of all, this is a Wendy's. Second of all, I'll have you know that Lincoln's neutered. Good day. Oh, well, we'll have to find some other dog to fuck you, honey. And then she just leaves. Right? But they brought her back for no reason. In the epilogue, like, by the way, that lady that showed up at the door, she found a dog. And she also fucked this hot guy.
Yeah. They show all 4 of them in bed together. Which has some implications.
Why did we as an audience need to know that this weird pervert also did it? She got down. Why do we need to know?
See, you're saying that they brought it back for no reason. I'm saying they brought it back because it's fucking hilarious.
Really funny.
Because it's incredible.
It's just like a throwaway joke in the middle of the film.
They're just in these silk sheets. Like, it's like a silk...
Yeah.
Like, she's with, like, an obvious porn star in bed, in, like, naked, like, basically smoking. And, like, the dogs are cuddled up at the bottom of the bed in the same manner. And it's, like, red satin sheets and stuff. And it's just, what is going on in this movie?
So wild. The writer for this film, by the way, this is their only writing credit for a movie. They never wrote another film.
Well, they wrote 3.
Yeah.
It's because they got every movie that they ever thought of out at once.
The director is the director of Doom Annihilation, the 2019 movie that everybody is mad about. Same director.
Huh.
This was his first directing credit.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's just a weird amalgam of, like, this shouldn't work, but they just took so many chances and just ran with all of their jokes that it does. To some extent. Like, all the jokes are good.
Yeah.
I like every joke in this movie.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah, there's maybe 1 or 2 that don't land, but I can't remember them. Because the movie, the jokes that are good are so good that it vastly overshadows any
I think there's, like,
missteps
one where the coach is, like, supposed to be talking to his team about plays, but he's like, oh, by the way, I found this, like, hot lady. I think I'm gonna marry her. That joke didn't really land. Because it was just kind of weird.
There's something like that. There's a couple little things.
It's so minor compared to everything else that I'm like, oh, shit.
Like, there's nothing... They don't do any, like, offensive jokes that I could think of. Like, all of the jokes are just...
Nothing like nothing race related. The only thing is, like, obviously the sexism, but
yes, I mean, like, that's not really a thing that they don't make jokes about. It's just infused through the film in that, like, there is one female character and she is totally absent even when she's on screen. Like, it's one of those things where oh god. Speaking of, there's another female character. Holy shit, I forgot about this.
Are you talking about?
How's the exact context?
Do you mean the scene at the end with Greaser Kid?
Yes. So Greaser Kid at the end of the game, what does he say, Boyks? Do you know the line?
He says something like, "That's it, baby," or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something, but, like, he basically, like, they win the game, or, like, he scores, like, a goal or something, and he's like, and that's how it's done.
That's it, I think.
He's like, that's how daddy does it, baby. And he looks over in the stands, and there's suddenly this
random girl
that's around his age that we've never seen before in this movie. And it zooms really quick in on her face, and she, like, winks at him, and he like, winks back at her, and it's like, that's how daddy does it, baby. That's it. That's it.
Such a
like, this is what we mean. Like, there's so many little things like this, like, out of fucking nowhere. This movie is full of that. It's absolutely dripping with those scenes.
Yeah.
Like, There are so many, I couldn't write them all down.
This movie, I feel, is an anti-Air Bud in that it constantly subverts my
Yes.
expectations. An
Yes,
Air Bud is
yes.
like, follow the script, outside of Spooky Buddies. Follow the script, go straight down the line, thing happens, done with the film. This movie is just trying so hard to just constantly throw shit at you, just at the wall. Who knows what's gonna happen next? So like every scene that isn't the family shit, you're immediately like, I don't even know what's gonna happen. I have no fucking clue where this movie is
Who
going.
fucking knows? Yeah, like they could go absolutely anywhere, which is so fun to watch. It's one of those movies where and when you think about it, like the plot is super by the numbers. Like it is unbelievably bland and dull. Like there's almost no plot to speak of. It's pathetic how bad it is. But the thing is, the movie never dwells on it. The movie doesn't give a shit
The
about
plot's
that.
almost not the point. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the plot and everything else like that, like the soccer game, the plot, all of that stuff is totally extraneous. The whole point of this movie is for them to just have a bunch of weird vignettes where they can do some really stupid fucking jokes that are absolutely amazing. Like, it is a pure comedy. Like, it feels very much, it's obviously very different from this, but I'd almost say it's kind of like a, Steven Yeun movie, like the, Kung Fu Hustle kind of thing, where it's like, sure, there's plot to it, but really it's about them just, doing little jokes in every scene.
It's kind of like a Kung Pao, also. Kung Pao Enter the Fist. That type of, let's just throw jokes at the film. Yeah.
Airplane.
Yeah. Any of those movies.
It's that kind of thing where, the plot kind of doesn't matter. It's just going to do a whole bunch of jokes at you, and some of them are going to land. And in this one, most of them do. Yep. And so you won't remember the bad jokes because there's another joke 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a new sight gag. There's always going to be a new weirdo character sniffing dog collars and dog balls and intimidating people with Bowie knives for some fucking reason. There's always going to be the weird lady who wants her dog to get fucked. There's
something.
Always going to be something. There's going to be the greaser kid winking at people in the crowd. There's always
and then in the
thing.
middle you'll just get the soccer store owner just having a really good extended pet. Which there were 10 or so pets in this film. There's a lot.
I put 10 pets in this film. That's the other thing, is there's actually a lot of dog in this film, and that dog's getting a lot of love. Everybody's petting dogs and saying what a good boy he is. And when he brings the dog into the soccer store, that soccer owner has
he's like, oh, how's it going?
Genuine dog reaction.
Yeah, welcome to the store. Oh my god, is that a dog? Oh, I love that dog. Can I pet that dog? Oh, I'm hugging the dog. Oh, I can't believe you've graced my store.
What a good boy.
Today.
You've got a nice coat of hair.
I can't believe you graced my store and improved my life today, dog.
I remember you exactly when that moment happened. You went, "This is the way I react to every dog in real life." And I'm like,
that's it. Yeah,
it's just, oh, look at the good boy. He's got such a nice coat of hair. Oh, do you like some pets? It's super not even acting.
It's
at
just
that point.
The actor was like, "There's a dog on set. I love this." Yeah, it's so good.
Thank you again to the people that watched this show and recommended that we do Soccer Dog and told us that we had to do it, because hats off to you. This movie's great.
Let's move into wrapping up the episode here a bit, I think. So we have two dogs we need to rate. There's Lincoln, the main dog.
3.
Oh, the puppies, I guess? Also?
No, they're 4. Actually,
Stop counting dogs. Okay, whatever. Well, you can figure out the dog.
We'll get into it.
So Lincoln the dog is very cute. Is very good at really shitty CGI hitting a soccer ball. Can take a hit and not be knocked out of the game. And ultimately betrays our family and goes off to live a rich, wealthy life.
Yeah.
Yep.
15 out of 10.
Perfect dog.
He abandons the only bad part of this film like he should. And also he's got a nice coat of hair. It's confirmed.
There's the Rottweiler, which is the bully kid's dog. Bully kid's dog kind of just growls a lot at Lincoln, I guess, most of the film, and then goes in for an attack and gets pulled off from the film at that point and never shows up again. Very good method actor.
He's a badass.
Yeah, very good method actor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Rottweiler did a fantastic job of just being a hit dog. Would cast in a mafia film out of 10.
Yeah, I really liked how they zoomed in on the barcode on the back of
Yeah.
his head, and like how he pulled out some guns at one point. He's like, "I'm just gonna go in for the silent kill on Lincoln." It was a very good hit dog. Very good.
What are the other two dogs then? Because there's the puppies, I know. Yeah.
Okay. There's the dog that really just needs the D master. The woman's looking
that dog.
for.
Right.
Yeah. There's
the Shih Tzu that gets a hubby at the end of the film.
That desperately need. I'm really sad they didn't bring the D master himself in for that job.
Yeah. That dog gave a lick on the face and was just really happy to be there.
It sure did.
And ended up getting, I think, the happiest of endings. So I would rate that dog as probably shouldn't have been in the film out of 10.
Oh God.
And then
you're saying that you were surprised the dog came back after the climax of the film.
Sure. The other dogs are the puppies, which are golden retriever puppies, which is not what Lincoln is, but is supposed to be the same. And they're very cute puppies, and they don't really know how to walk yet, so they're stumbling around. Would give a treat out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Would pet lovingly. Would let that Shih Tzu also lick me in the face. That it was giving like really good little like she raised it up and gave it little licks. It was like licking her face and stuff. She's like, oh, give me a kiss.
What a cute dog!
And it was really cute.
I guess the fifth dog would be the coach, who's a very good boy, and I would rate Patrick Warburton out of 10.
We can't get into all the people dogs in this film because there's like 12 of them.
There's so many people.
Every person in this film is a different
then there's Greaser Dog,
like,
and then there's Mafia Kid Dog.
There's Greaser Dog. There's Mob Dog. There's like was murdered in the first 5 minutes kid of this film dog. There's
take a lap.
There's and that's the all right, everybody. Take a lap. Go follow our social media. It's Rough Cuts Cast on Twitter. You can check us out. You can give us an email if you have a movie suggestion. For example, if you've watched something on the level of Soccer Dog and you want to send it in to us, you can send it roughcutscast@gmail.com. I apologize that it took us so long to get to it. I know that you recommended it to us like a month and a half ago or more. Probably more than that. RightSaidDredd, I believe, on Twitter. Thank you again for adding us with this movie because, hot damn! Please send us in more recommendations for films if you have them. We will get to them if we can. We didn't. Boyks went and bought a VCR and a bunch of stuff to get this all set up. So, thank you very much for suggesting it. It was well worth the effort. And thank you to all of the new people that supported us on the Patreon. Boyks did a little bit of a drive for that, and you came out with a lot of support, so it's helping us keep all of the costs down and get this thing out the door, so thank you very, very much for that. And if you want to support us on Patreon, we would definitely appreciate it. All the links are there on our social media.
Yeah, what a fucking movie. Yeah, I need to go take a lap. I'll be back. See you later. What? Oh no. Oh no.
Lincoln's disappearance, just hours before the big championship
This is a
game,
weird fucking movie.
sent this town into a tailspin.
You see this
Like-
piece of money? Take a good look at it.
What?
Because this is all the money that you're not gonna get.
What?
Turning all of this into a bounty. All of it. Every last dollar is for the person that helped me find the evil kidnapper that took Lincoln. Give me back my dog!
Has there actually been a ransom note?
No. But that's beside the point.
Lincoln's not even your dog.
No, that's true. But that's not the point either.
Hey, that's just monopoly money, isn't it?
Well, now, look at all of you. Take a lap.
Fucking take a lap, assholes.
Take a lap. Fuck you. dies mid-match.
Yes. 1 second. Buddy, hey, what are you doing? You're behind the curtains, clawing the fucking screen. What are you? Oh God, you're stuck. What are you doing? Get out. All right, get out.
This rules.